Whoa. Paddy Donovan vs. Lewis Crocker. Oh, I mean, it was a good fight, if you like. We will get to the ending in a minute. I mean, it was a grudge match. Paddy Donovan, who's from the Republic, came into Zombie by the Cranberries, which is a, you know, I don't know, anti-English song, I guess. I'm not getting into politics. I always say that. Crocker came into that Train Spotting, white boy, that song. Um, you know, it was a good fight. What can you say? I mean, I thought Donovan, he looked super, but he was exceptionally dirty. Very, very dirty. He kept on dropping the head in. He put the elbow in. He kept on pushing off with the jab. You're not meant to push a guy off with with your glove. You're pushing him. Um, I mean, I had Donovan winning the first couple of rounds. You know, the third round as well. I was thinking, why is Donovan not throwing body shots? Because Croc was just leaning forward with his hands, cupping his head, putting his chin was on his chest. He was open for the uppercuts, and they were landing a lot from Donovan. But I thought he could mix in some hooks. In the third round, Crocker got a cut. It was ruled by punches. Um, you know, but he was putting the head in all the time, Donovan. Fourth round, I had it Donovan or even. Donovan got a warning from the ref, the last warning for using his head, you know. And Crocker's face was marking up as well. He was as the cut. He kept on smiling every time he got hit, which I always think is a bad sign. It's like saying, "Yep, you hit me with a good shot. You hit me with a good shot." The fourth, I just gave it to Crocker. The fifth, Donovan carried on. His movement was very good. I love the way he moves around the target. Crocker was missing a lot. And then in the sixth round, we got a point off, and I think it was a Donovan head, but he'd also used the elbow, and Crocker started to complain to the ref. I mean, I can understand. It's a shame, because apart from that, I thought Donovan was giving a beautiful display of boxing. His movement, he was throwing combinations, all kinds of combinations. I mean, I'm pretty sure if Adam Smith was commentating, he would have called Paddy Donovan the Irish version of Lomachenko. He was working Crocker's face up, reddening it up. The seventh round again, Donovan's round. But the head keeps on coming in and he's pushing off with the jab. But he was showing great movement around the target. I mean, this is one of the things that I love to watch. When you got a good boxer and he'll throw the shots and move to the left or to the right. Not backwards, not in a straight line, not backwards to the left and the right. It was a lovely movement. And in the eighth, the ref took another point off Donovan, And Donovan really should have been careful by now. I was about to go on the in-play and go, look at the DQ to see if there was, he was going to get DQ'd. I was like, one more headbutt and he's going to get DQ'd. One more foul, he's going to get DQ'd. But I couldn't be bothered. I was like, nah, man, I've put my bet on for Donovan. I'm going to stick with it. I don't know what the odds were. at the time. They were probably locked. That's what happens quite often in live betting. When things are controversial and money starts coming on, they'll just lock it. When loads of money comes on, in play, they'll lock it, and you can't put money on. I reckon that would have happened anyway, so I probably wouldn't have been able to put any money on. But and down went Crocker. Down went Crocker. Yeah, he got up. Paddy jumped on him, and Crocker landed a couple of shots, actually wild shots. He was throwing wild shots, trying to get the knockout. A couple of them hit, one of them missed, and Donovan jumped on him, and the bell went. Yeah, the bell went. And about at least a second after the bell, Donovan cracked Crocker, and down went Crocker, heavily. I was like, oh, what have you got here? Well, it all depends on what the referee thinks. I mean, in some ways, in fights like this, the referee, as soon as the bell goes, the referee should jump in. I'm not blaming him necessarily, because the bell goes, you got to stop boxing. But the referee should have jumped in and pulled him apart. He didn't. He just sat there. And Donovan landed another shot right at the bell. Boom. Down goes Crocker hard. Yeah. At first, Donovan thought the referee waves it off. Donovan thought he'd won, but he looked confused. He's like, hang on. And it was a DQ. And Donovan was gutted. He collapsed to the floor. He was crying. Crocker's obviously upset himself. You know, he obviously feels that, you know, there were too many fouls in the fight, that he wasn't given the chance to win the fight. I think, you know, I don't know why Paddy was so reckless, you know. He was so reckless. He was, you know, schooling Crocker. He was battering him. He'd marked him up. He'd cut him. He was clearly winning on points, you know, even with a point deduction. Well, 2-point deductions. I mean, I don't have any problem with the referee calling it a DQ, really. It would have been unfair, I think, to try and let Crocker carry on, because that shot was clearly out of the bell. However, you know, it's not like Crocker turned away and was walking towards his corner and he took a shot. He was still trying to defend himself. But Paddy, I mean, maybe didn't hear the bell. Maybe the adrenaline was going. But, you know, I think the ref was at fault for not jumping in. He should have jumped in. It's cost me money as well, you know, this fight. But is it the right decision? I have to say, you know, you can't continually foul and then bang someone hard after the bell. It was a good second after the bell. I mean, it's a shame. It was a great fight, a great display of boxing by Paddy Donovan, you know. And to be honest, he's an idiot. He's only got himself to blame. He would have, you know, they might have pulled him out in the corner, Crocker. They might have pulled him out saying, look, you've had enough. You've taken a lot of shots. Your face is all mashed up, you know. You know, there were several more rounds to go. But I don't know, man. Like I said, it could be in the adrenaline. Maybe he didn't hear it, you know. I think it's a bit unlikely. There was a lot of noise in the crowd, maybe, but I mean, and like I said, the ref knew it was a grudge match. The ref should have been on top of it, but he probably couldn't move his fat body in quick enough to separate them. He sort of jumped in with his hand, stopped boxing, because he obviously knew Donovan was going for the finish. You know, an experienced referee should have thought, well, Donovan's going for the finish, right? There's every chance. He knows the bell's going soon, right? Because you hear the clacker, don't you? I can't remember hearing the clacker, actually, but usually they have a clacker before the end of the round. Maybe they didn't in this fight, to be honest. But, you know, intuitively, he should have been near the fighters because, firstly, Crocker was about to get stopped, legitimately or illegitimately, you know? It's just a sad ending to a fight. You know, I didn't lose much money, but, you know, it was a good pick. It was a great display of boxing from Paddy. It's just a shame he took all those risks. And it's not fair on Crocker to, you know, to have to put up with elbows, headbutts, hit after the bell. So, yeah, I do agree with the DQ. It's just not something I wanted to see. You know, Donovan was pissing that fight. He was battering and marking up Crocker. Crocker's game, and he had a go, but he was just not in the fight ever at any stage. The only thing that was going to win in the fight was a wild shot or Donovan getting DQ'd, and that's what happened. So it's very disappointing, especially for a fight of this magnitude. It was a huge fight in Ireland, you know, a huge fight. And it was very important. It was an eliminator for the world title. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but this happens. It's boxing. And Paddy will surely be kicking himself, you know. He'll surely be kicking himself. But, you know, and they'll probably call a rematch. I don't know. Crocker might say, well, hang on, I won the fight. Yeah, it was by DQ and he was getting worked over, but he might go, I won the fight. I want to fight for the world title. But, you know, what is it? An eliminator for Boots Ennis? I mean, come on, man. I don't want to see Crocker against Ennis. That's no good, man. That's no good. That would be a hammering. One of those British hammerings. you know. Well, Irish, whatever, British, whatever. But, you know, when they get a prospect and he gets an elevated ranking, world ranking, they throw him in against a top guy and he gets battered, like, you know, something like Rocky Fielding vs Canelo or something like that. You know, it will be ugly, very ugly, and because of the performance and because of the results, I'd much rather see a rematch. I'm really not one that's big on rematches, but in this case, surely there has to be a rematch, and Donovan just has to, be less dirty, man. He's got to use his head. And when I say use his head, I don't mean headbutts. I mean use his brain. Especially, he had one warning, then he had another warning, then he had a point taken off, then he had another point taken off, and then he's about to finish the guy. And like I said, they probably would have pulled him out the corner, Crocker, or at least he would have been stopped in the next round. So, I don't know. Maybe Donovan's a bit of a hothead. But, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame to see a fight end like that anyway. Peace, guys.